everybody. So frustratingly, this is probably the third time that I've tried to record this. So here it goes. Excuse my messy appearance, and to be honest, this is probably the first time I've combed my hair in about 6 months. Um, just didn't have a need to. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Western civilization and what I think I learned by reading and watching a few of the videos and the readings and all of that, and then see what you all think about it. Um, it's obviously this huge tale, um, rich with just historical information, depth, cultural diversity, and to be honest, I can't even touch it with a 4 or 5 minute video. But I'm going to try and see what you guys think. Um, so to start, uh, Lawrence Birken was the one of the first things I read, his essay. It had us kind of broaden our perspective beyond thinking of just European narratives, and realizing that there was a huge influence from others, such as the Byzantine and the Islamic civilizations. Um, so like his approach, it doesn't just argue against just the European view, but it shows us that Western history is kind of like a joining of the entire globe and bringing back thoughts, which I think is as important in the long run of things, and that the world has an interconnected heritage. Um, you know, and then I was reading over the first two chapters of the text, and I noticed that Daniel Hannan goes into the huge impact of English speaking societies on the global stage, and it completely can't be discounted. Um, he traces the lineage of freedoms and democratic principles to their roots in these societies and how they're kind of like a pillar or a um, base of modern times and how successful countries live. So, through his writing, we see that the values that are Western civilization, the rule of law, private property ownership and private property rights, democratic governance, voting for our leaders, um, the things that make us feel free, how those come together, um, you know, and create the Western civilization. And to put in a side note, I've traveled many places in this world, and to me it's very clear the countries that adopted the Western civilization principles and the things that were brought to the table by the West. Um, a difference in lifestyles, living, everything. Um, and I may be biased in saying it, but I highly prefer the way that we live. But then the flip side of the coin, I read Kwame Anthony Appiah's paper essay, and it kind of challenged the idea of there being a singular Western civilization, and saying that liberty, tolerance, rational inquiry, they don't belong to any single culture. Instead, that the notion of Western culture itself is more of a recent idea, and that it's very simplistic to think of the world as West and non-West, and arguing that all of the ideas are interwoven. The ideals that are attributed to Western civilization aren't exactly Western, but more universal and global, and they can be adopted and cherished by any individual or country, regardless of their background, their cultural background, where they are, or anything. And to be fair, I don't think that's much different than what we read by um, the first essay, um, Birken, I believe. Um, so anyway, to continue on, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Um, yeah, I just don't think it's fair to say that. I think that others have said, especially that first one, saying it took these cultures. People are saying it's interwoven. They're just saying that it came to a culmination that was then brought back, um, and that's important. You know, so to kind of conclude and wrap up, um, Western civilization and the thought of it is not obsolete. In fact, I think there needs to be a reemergence of it, kind of like in history, how you saw reemergences of other large thoughts and beliefs, and maybe bring that back to some of these places that are starting to shy away from it. Um, while I can in no way, shape, or form discount the growth that has happened in this world since Western civilization beginnings took place, I think that there's a place for Western civilization ideals to be kind of rethought of and re-ingrained in our brains. Um, so I think that it definitely revealed its role in shaping the values, democratic values, legal principles, and human rights that define the modern civilized world. Um, and I think we definitely do need to study that, look at it, and possibly get back to certain portions of it. So, guys, thank you for sitting here and struggling through this with me. This is the first time I've made a video in a long time, so I appreciate it, and I hope to hear some great replies. I hope to reply to some great videos, and once again, thank you.